All right. Well, hello and welcome to today's webinar, Google Tools for Special Needs. This session is part of a series of free webinars offered every week or two by the Stark Portage Area Computer Consortium, or SPARC for short. SPARC is an information technology center in Northeast Ohio where we support about 30 school districts. However, this webinar is open to everyone, and we would like to welcome all the people who have joined us live today or who are watching the recording in the future. My name is Eric Curts, and I am a technology integration specialist here at SPARC, and I'll be your presenter for this session today. I am joined virtually by my co-worker Anthony Luscre, who will be monitoring our Q&A document, and we'll talk about that as well here in just a moment. All the information for today's webinar can be found online at tiny.cc/spark209. Now, you may already be at that website, but for those that are watching this later in the future, or if you've caught this video stream from somewhere other than our Spark website, this link will get you to all of the resources, and we'll go ahead and I'm going to give a click on that and take you out there and show you what is there. Again, that's tiny.cc/spark209. So I'll give that a click, and you'll see that will shoot you on out to our Google Tools for Special Needs page on our Tech Integration website. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a bit on this page so we can see it a little bit better there. Just want to highlight a couple of things that you're going to find on the resource page. So first of all, you will see the live video stream, so what you're watching right now. Now, after the video is over, after the webinar is over, this will become the recorded video for the webinar. So you can come back here anytime you want, and you can play this again, and the recorded version of the webinar will be available there. Below the video stream, though, we've got some resources for you. There's a help guide, and this help guide is going to cover everything we're talking about and more. I really doubt we'll be able to fit everything here into 1 hour. And so if you give a click on that link, it'll pop you out to our Google Tools for Special Needs help guide. This is about a 8-page long help guide. And the nice thing about this is everything I'm talking about, all the links, all the resources, they're all listed in this help guide here. So if I'm mentioning a certain web app or extension that you go, oh, that's really cool, I want to try that out, no problem at all. You can come to the help guide. I've already got everything linked in here for you. So you'll be able to try out things like Read and Write or Speak It or whatever tool that you see in the webinar that you would like to try. All of those are all linked in that handout. So that is available for you on the website. In addition to that is a slideshow, which is what we're going through here today. So the slideshow that we were just looking at right there, that slideshow is linked in as well on the page, and that has links in there just like the document. The slideshow is a little less detailed, though the document really goes into a lot more description of the things we're talking about. Below that, I want to draw your attention to our live session chat document. We've got a Google document. If you give a click on that link there, it'll open up a Google Doc where you can type in any questions or comments or ideas that you have related to this session. And then, like I mentioned, my coworker Anthony is going to be monitoring that document, and he'll be sure to answer questions or share information with me that we can then bring into the rest of the webinar here today. Lastly, on this page, I want to draw your attention to the session evaluation. So when this is all over and done, I would love to get your feedback. If you give a click on that link, you'll see a real short, brief, like 4 or 5 question evaluation on this particular webinar, and would love to get your feedback. That helps us to improve these in the future. And then finally, something not to skip over is you can earn a certificate of attendance for viewing this webinar. So when it's all over, you can come here and click on this link to take a brief 5-question quiz, and then it will, if you pass the quiz, it will auto-generate a PDF certificate that will be emailed to you that you can then turn into your school for professional development credit. So all of that is found on our session page again, which is at tiny.cc/spark209. Now, while we're on that page, before we jump into the session, I will mention just a couple of other key things. If I scroll to the top of that page, I want to make sure you're aware that this is not a one-time event. We do these all the time. And so if you look up here at the top, there's a link to our PD schedule, and this will show other upcoming webinars that we have in the near future. You can scroll down and click and sign up for any of those. And then we've got a link here at the top for our recorded training. So these are ones that we have done in the past, and you can click on any of those to watch them and take the quiz and get the certificate for those. If you don't want to miss out on anything and you're afraid you might forget to come back to the website, we do have a link at the top for our newsletter. You can easily sign up for the Sparklines newsletter. That'll come out every few weeks and give you updates on all of the new webinars and other professional development opportunities. And finally, if you need to just get in touch with us, there's a contact link there. And oh, Anthony's picture has disappeared. I don't know what happened to Anthony. He really used to be there. But so there I am, and we'll get Anthony's picture fixed there. But our contact info is there as well. All right, guys. Well, fantastic. Let's go ahead and get on with the presentation. So for our session today, we're going to be talking about Google tools for special needs, and they're going to fall into a number of categories. We're going to start off by touching on some general website resources that are out there, and then we're going to spend the majority of our time, I'd say the big chunk of this session is going to be on Chrome web apps, extensions, and add-ons. That's really going to be the main portion. But then we're going to spend some time in YouTube, Chrome in general, and then mobile features as well. And again, this doesn't cover everything that's in that handout. So if you go back to the handout that we mentioned a little while ago, there's even more in that handout than I'm going to be able to fit into this session. I would definitely encourage you to refer to that. All right. So as far as prerequisites, what do you need to be able to be successful with this webinar? Well, it would be best if you do have a Gmail or a Google Apps account. Some of the things we're going to show would be fantastic if you have your own account. That way you can get into Google Docs and you can install some web apps and extensions and try these out as well. Along that same line, you would want to have access to Google Chrome. A lot of the things we're going to talk about are Google Chrome web extensions and Chrome web apps. These are things that may not work as well in Firefox or Safari or IE. They may be very specific to Chrome. And so again, this is all about Google tools for special needs. So therefore, Google Chrome as a browser would be the best one to use for this session. In addition, we'd love you to have access to Google Drive, because some of the stuff we're going to do deals with Google Docs, and that way you can try that out as well. And then finally, although it's not a total requirement, it would be useful to have at least a general understanding of what web apps, extensions, and add-ons are all about. We're going to talk really brief about that, but this really isn't a session focused on how to install web apps and manage them and so forth. We can probably do a whole other webinar on just that. So I guess what I'm saying is we're going to spend most of our time on the resources themselves and not as much on how to install and manage your web apps and extensions and add-ons. I'll touch on it briefly, but the more you understand about that, the better off you'll be. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of what to expect with the session. So let's go ahead and dive on into here. So the first thing I want to mention is that there are a load of tools out there that work with the Google suite of products that will help users who have special needs. Now, some of these are things that Google made. So we're going to absolutely be looking at things that Google has built right into their browser or into YouTube or into different features to different products Google has made. However, there's a bunch of them that are made by third parties. And that's a great thing about Google is they allow other people to create things that work with their products. So mostly this would be like web apps, web extensions, add-ons, things like that somebody else has created to provide some features to help students with special needs. So since that's the main big part we're going to be talking about, web apps and extensions, we will spend a little bit more time on that when we hit that section. All right, but as I mentioned, the first thing we're going to do before we do any of that is we're going to talk about some general websites. So I just want you to be aware, these are great websites if you have not visited these before as it relates to Google tools and accessibility and special needs. So the first one I just want to show you real quick is Google's own accessibility website. We're really not going to spend any time there other than to let you know that it does exist. It's google.com/accessibility. And if you scroll down, there's a link there to view all of Google's accessibility tools, and you can filter this by product, by alphabetically, by category, by uses, and this will help you see a lot of the things that Google has on their own built into their products. And again, there's no way we're going to get through all of these today. I'm just going to be picking out some of the real key ones I want to highlight for you. But again, this is another great resource, Google's accessibility website. Please visit there, dive in, and learn some more about things Google has built into their product for accessibility purposes. Another great one that I want to draw your attention to is the Chrome Toolbox AT website for assistive technology. And it's just chrometoolbox.com. And this website is run by John Calvert. And he put this together a few years ago and is constantly working on developing this. And this is a great site you can go in if you want to find tools that provide assistive technology features. And most of these are Google Chrome web apps, extensions, and add-ons. So a lot of the stuff we're going to look at today also show up on his site on the Chrome Toolbox website. And then the last link I want to draw your attention to is that they also have a Google Plus community for assistive technology. And so I'll give a click on that link, and that takes you out to Google Plus. And this is the Chrome Toolbox Google Plus community, where you can go and ask questions, share resources, and learn from others. So all of those are great websites that I want you to be aware of before we dive into these, because again, I can't cover all the material that is possible out there, and these will help you extend even further than what I'll be able to get through in our session today. Well, let's get on then. So we're going to dive into the Google Tools for Special Needs, with a reminder that all these resources can be found at tiny.cc/spark209. All right, so the first thing we want to spend some time on are web apps and extensions and add-ons. Those are the things we're going to really start off with here. Now, again, I'm just going to go real briefly over what web apps and extensions are and what add-ons are, how to find them. And other than that, we're really just going to dive into those. So what I'm going to mention for you real quick is when it comes to web apps and extensions, what that means is some sort of a program that somebody has created that works with the Chrome web browser. And Chrome has put together a web store where you can find all of these. Now, don't forget, I've also linked them all in. Remember, if you go over to the Google Tools for Special Needs handout, and if you scroll way down to the section on web apps and extensions, I've already linked them all in there as well. So you don't have to search for all of these yourself. You can definitely get them out of that document. But if you do go to chrome.google.com/web store, if you go to the Chrome web store, that's where you're going to find web apps and web extensions, and as well as, all kinds of great tools in there. And if I scroll down through here, anything that I would decide that I would want to install, I could go ahead and give a click on it, and then there'll be an option up here to click Add to Chrome, and that's how I would add this to my Chrome web browser. And so if you want to try out any of the awesome web apps and extensions we're talking about today, that's the basic idea. Follow the link in my handout for these, or search for them in the Chrome web store, and then click on them, and then click the Add to Chrome button to be able to install that. Now, don't forget, one of the awesome things about Google Apps is schools can also push these out to students. So if you have Google Apps for Education in your district, your tech folks can pick web apps and extensions that all students should have and push them out to them. So that's another great way to get these installed on student devices. Now, the other thing we're going to be talking about here at the beginning is what we call add-ons. With add-ons, these are, again, third-party programs, and these work with things like Google Docs. And so you don't go to the web store for these. Instead, you get these from the add-ons menu in your Google Docs. So if I'm inside of a Google Doc like this one here, and I go up to the top and I click on add-ons, you'll see I've already installed a whole bunch of add-ons. But if I go down and it says Get Add-ons, I can click on that, and that lets me find all sorts of awesome add-ons that are available for Google Docs. And then if I find one of those I like, I can just hover above it and click the free button to install those add-ons. So that's the real big overview idea of what web extensions, apps, and add-ons are, and where to find them and install them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some different categories. I've broken this up into about 5 or 6 different categories of extensions, apps, and add-ons, and we're going to look at a few of them in each one. We're not going to go into every single one of them because there's so many, but I've tried to pick out a few to kind of show some of the best in breed here. So first of all, we're going to talk about the category of text to speech. So if you've got some text and you'd like that converted into speech, what are some options out there for you? Well, there's quite a few, and the first one we're going to take a look at is called Read and Write for Google. And again, I've got links to those, so you can click right on the link either from the presentation or from the document, and it'll take you right to that spot in the Chrome web store. And I've already installed it, but you could click to add it to Chrome and get that installed. So what is Read and Write for Google? Well, to show this one, I'm going to pop over to a Google Doc. Now, this is just a simple Google Doc with some information about George Washington. So I'm just kind of pretending this is a student's their report they're writing about George Washington. And what Read and Write for Google does is if you've got that installed as an extension, it gives you a little toolbar that's normally not there in your Google Docs. And you can see it right up here at the top. There's this little tab. If I click on it, it drops down and it gives me this toolbar of all of these awesome new tools that can help a student in a number of ways. Now, we're just going to look at a couple of them here real quick. Well, one of them we said was text-to-speech. So yeah, we can do that. There is a little button up here in the Read and Write toolbar that's a play button. That if I click that, it'll start wherever my cursor is and it will read this information aloud. Now I'm going to have to turn on my speakers here so we can hear this. So let me try that out and let's see how that sounds. Give this just a sec here to turn on, and let me go ahead and hit play and let's see how that goes.
Mary Bull and his father was Augustine Washington.
Now that might have, I'll go ahead and stop it. It's still going there. Pause. There we go. Now that might have been a little hard to hear just because my speakers aren't terribly loud, but hopefully you picked that up a little bit. And what you notice is it was basically reading that information from the Google Doc. And then you can control the voice and the speed and all of that. There's a little settings gear up here in the top right that if I give a click on that, I can choose different voices if I want to go with a male voice or a female voice, a British voice, a US voice, different nationalities. And so you can choose the voice you want to go with, and then you can also change how fast it reads. So it could go from, I have on a medium, but we could go from fast all the way down to very slow. Well, this is a very powerful tool to allow students to be able to hear the information on in the Google document read back to them in a voice that they can understand and in a speed that is good for them. But that's not all Read and Write does, and we can't go into every single button up here, but I will just show you a couple of other really cool things it does. So for example, it has a word prediction feature built in. And so if I were going to say, maybe I'll just type down here, put a few spaces in. If I were going to type, I could come up to the crystal ball icon in the toolbar and give a click on that, and that opens up my word prediction. So if I were to start typing something like, this is just a test, if I just start typing, you'll see that it starts giving me suggestions for what the words can be. And what I can do is I can just go ahead and press Control plus the number to choose that. So this is, if I start typing in just a, and then test. So I start typing that in, it should pick that up. And again, I can just use the control plus the number to complete that. So word prediction is built in as part of this. Click the crystal ball again, and I can turn that off. Another nice thing it does is it provides some dictionary features. So there's a word dictionary and a picture dictionary. So that's kind of cool. If I were to come in here and choose a word like president and click on the regular dictionary here, I would get a definition in words of president, okay? But if I do the same thing and click on the picture dictionary, it'll give me some pictures that are related to that. So I've got another option for learning a little bit about that word instead of just a written out definition. Now, if you want to, you can take some of that stuff and kind of combine it all together and take advantage of their vocabulary tool here. And again, I know I'm skipping over a bunch of awesome tools in here, but they've got a vocab tool here. So if a student maybe is struggling with some of the text in the document, they could come in and highlight some of the key words, like maybe president, and we'll go ahead and highlight that in yellow. And then let's go with, well, we'll just pick another word. We'll pick war. And then I'll just pick something else in here. We'll grab plantation. That'll be fine. We'll grab that for a word. And so I can go ahead and highlight all of these words. And after I get them highlighted, there's a button up here in the Read and Write toolbar, which is the vocabulary button. When you click on that, what it does is it goes ahead and finds your highlighted words and pulls them together into a new Google Doc, and it includes the definition, it includes the pictures from the picture dictionary, and so here it is, it's generating that for me right now. So there's president, and then there's war, and then there's plantation, and for each one of them I get the definition, I get the picture dictionary options, and then I get a notes section that I can type in if I want to add my own notes. So these are just some of the really powerful tools that are provided inside of the Read and Write toolbar. And we'll come back to it in just a little bit because it does some other things that fit in with some more sections later on in our presentation. But those are a few that definitely come from the concept of text-to-speech, kind of gets us started. Now, another one I want to show you for text-to-speech is called Speak It. Now, Read and Write worked great for a Google Doc, but what about a web page? If I just need to have a web page read to me? Well, Speak It works really well for that. So I'm going to pop out to a website called Dogo News. Dogo News is a student's current event website. And we're going to go with this first article here on the severe winter weather, which, yes, we're all having here as well. And let's say I would like to have this read aloud. Well, what I can do is I can come in and I can highlight the thing I'd like to have read. And then because I've got Speak It installed, it creates a little speaker icon way up here in the very top right-hand corner of my Chrome browser that if I click on that speaker icon, it'll go ahead and read that. So again, I'm going to turn on my speakers and hopefully we can hear this one maybe even a little bit better than the last one. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play up here. And
though the 2015 winter has been brutal for many East Coast cities in the United States, few have had it as bad as Boston.
All right, and I'll go ahead and pause that again, turn my speaker back down. And just like with Read and Write, I can right-click on that little speaker up there. I can go into my options, and from there, I can choose the volume, the speaking rate. I can choose what type of voice we want to use as well. So those are some really great tools, and there's more than that. Again, I've got other ones linked in, but we're just going to highlight a couple. If you need to do text-to-speech, Read and Write for Google and Speak It are both excellent options for that. Well, what if we want to turn it around the other direction? We want to go from speech to text. We want to be able to speak and then have that translate that into text for us. Well, there's, again, a number of ways that that can be done. And one of them is with Read and Write for Google. I know I don't have it listed here, but since we already had it up, I will let you know real quick that if I hit that little down button there again to bring the toolbar down again, there is a little icon up here for speech input. So I can use Read and Write to also do speech to text. So if I clear that out, put my mouse there, and I click on the little speech input up here, I should be able to speak and it should pick it up. Let's try it out. This is just a test. All right. And there it is. This is just a test. It filled it in for me. Yeah, I need to fix the capitalization and the punctuation and so forth, but it was able to listen and grab that and put that in there for me. So that's a great option for speech to text. But another one that I've really liked a lot recently is not an extension or a web app. It's actually an add-on, and it is called speech recognition. So let me show you that one. So if I pop over here back to my Google Doc, and if I go, I'll just hide Read and Write for a second. And if I go to my add-ons, here's where we can go in to install or access and or install any add-ons. So for this one, if I come down here and say I want to get an add-on, and usually this one shows up a little bit nearer to the bottom. It's a little bit newer of an extension, or an add-on, and there it is, speech recognition. I'll go ahead and give a click on that, and then I'll say I want to install that, click the free button. What it's going to do is it's going to ask for permission, and then once it's done, it will have added that to my list of add-ons up here at the top. Well, what speech recognition does is click on add-ons, go down to speech recognition, and then choose start. And when I choose start, I get a pop-up panel over here on the side that gives me a microphone and allows me to be able to, once again, say what I want, and it will then translate it into text over here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete what I had there before, and we'll try something again. So I'm going to come over here and click start. Oh, it is asking for permission, so I got to give it permission here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. And there we go. And I can hit stop, and it goes ahead and inserts that right into my document there. So these are some great tools if students are needing to do speech to text. And you may say, well, why choose one versus the other with the speech recognition add-on versus Read and Write for Google? Well, the one thing I will mention real quick, absolutely love Read and Write for Google. It's a great tool. I will let you know there is a paid version and there's a free version. Now, the free version does not have all of these features up here. It does give you the text to speech, so you can definitely take text, hit the play button, and it will read it aloud. The free version does not include the speech to text, the other direction. So because there is a cost involved in that, I did want to show you the other option as well of using the speech recognition add-on as well. However, I will mention real quick that if you're taking a look at the Google Doc instructions, the help guide for this session, the company that puts out Read and Write, they really do want to make this as usable for schools as possible. So if you're an educator, you can get the paid version for an entire year at no cost by filling out a form that I have linked in there in that help guide. But just wanted to let you know there is a cost for all of the features there. The free version does give you a few of the tools, but there are some other options for doing speech to text as well. And again, we're not going to be able to hit on all of those, but there's a lot of great ones out there. All right, let's keep on heading down the list here. So the next category we're going to touch on is readability. So I kind of define this as just making it easier to not get distracted, to be able to see the information on a web page that's important and focus in on that. And so we're going to look at a number of these, and I'm going to go ahead and use Dogo News again for this example. And the reason I'm going to use Dogo News is because it's a great site, sure, for kids, but wow, there's a lot of stuff on this site. If you're easily distracted, this could be a site that could be a bit of a challenge for you because there's a lot of stuff going on a site like Dogo News. And maybe I just really need to focus on the article. I need to just, zone in on that and not get distracted by everything else. Well, there's a number of tools, and we're going to look at Clearly, we're going to look at Beeline Reader, we're going to look at the AT bar, and then we're going to look at the Magic Scroll web reader. So we're going to hit a couple of these in a row here and show the different ways they can help improve the readability for students when they're on a web page. So let's go ahead and start with Clearly. Now I've already installed it, and again, all these links, they're all in the slideshow and they're all in the handout as well. So I've already installed Clearly, and what it looks like is a lamp up here in the very far top right-hand corner. It looks like a lamp. And when I come up and I click on the lamp, what Clearly does is it reloads the web page for me. And so when it reloads the web page, it strips out everything else that's not part of the main article of the page. So the pictures stay, the video stays, the comprehension questions are there, and you've got all the text of the article, but it pulls all the rest of the stuff off of the page. Not only that, but I can come over here to this button on the side with the capital A to click on the theme button, and I could say, you know what, I need that even a little bit larger. So I could click the large button, and now it's even bigger. Or I could say, you know what, I do better with a dark background and with light text on it. So I could switch to a dark theme like that as well. And so the point is, this is an overlay. Whatever I choose here for my theme, it's just going to do like an overlay on top of the regular page, stripping out all the other stuff. When I'm done with Clearly, I can just click the little arrow up here in the top right, and it folds that away, and I'm back to the original page. So that is a nice way to improve the readability of a page. Let's talk about some other options here. So another one that we're going to take a quick look at is called Beeline Reader. Now I've got it turned off at the moment, so I'm going to turn it back on. Give me a second just to re-enable that. If you've got a bunch of extensions running at once, sometimes they can fight with each other just a little bit. So I have turned some of these off and back on using an extension manager. An extension manager extension. Yes, it's an extension that manages extensions and helps me kind of turn them on and off. Now, I just turned on Beeline Reader, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it and give it a second to do its thing. And I might have to refresh it because I just turned that on. Here, let's give it another moment to do its thing. Okay, and here it is. Now, you may say, Eric, this looks a lot like what you just did. It looks like Clearly it took away the ads. It's just got the text. Now, that's true, but it does one other thing that's kind of interesting, and I don't know how well you can pick this up on your screen, but it colors the text in a gradient. So it starts out a dark blue, becomes a light blue, then gets dark again, then goes into a dark red, and then a light red, then it gets dark again, then it switches to dark blue. The idea is these slow shifts in color help a student to stay on the correct line, to be able to follow where they're going. That the color gives them that added help as they're sort of scrolling down through that so that they can see which line they're on and not get lost. It does something else. You may notice the font is a little bit different. This font is called Open Dyslexic. And the purpose of this font is it makes the bottom of the letters thicker and darker and heavier than the top of the letters, which is to help provide a little bit more orientation for what is up and what is down and make it a little bit easier to read the text as well. So Beeline, pretty interesting extension. It's going to add in the colors, and it's also going to add in the Open Dyslexic font, as well as stripping out the other things on the page. All right, so that's Beeline Reader. I'll go ahead and disable that. So we can move on to our next one. And our next one we're going to look at is the AT bar, the assistive or the accessibility toolbar, the AT bar. So let me turn AT bar on, and I'll probably have to reload the page again here anytime I make a change like that. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the AT bar to turn it on. And what you get is a drop-down bar, and it's got lots of tools. And again, we're not going to go into all of these. It's got text-to-speech. It's got all kinds of awesome things. What I was going to do was show what makes it different. And here's what it does. It does color overlays, which is kind of interesting. I haven't seen too many other extensions that do this. So I can click this color overlay button here, and then I can choose things like red or blue or green or gray, or I can click the button again and turn it off. But the point is, it allows me to have a color overlay, which research has shown for some students that can help them be able to read the information better by having that color overlay. And so AT bar was one of the few that I have seen that does that. All right, let me turn AT bar off, and we'll keep heading down the list. The next one I'm going to do is the Magic Scroll Web Reader. So let me turn that guy on. And we'll once again reload the page. All right, so what does this one do? Again, a lot like a lot of the others, but let me give it a click and you'll see very quickly what it does. So when I click on this one, what it does is it takes the page, it strips out the stuff that doesn't need to be there, and then what it does is it creates a flippable like ebook out of it. And so you can go right and left like you're turning pages, and you can read through it like a flippable ebook. And it also works with the space bar, so you can use that to flip through the pages as well. And in addition to that, there are some settings over here on the side I can click on if I, again, want to change the color scheme or the font size. But this just gives you another way of, again, taking it just a piece at a time, like one page at a time, rather than having to scroll all the way down the page. And we can then just revert back to the old, and we will once again turn off that extension, the Magic Scroll Web Reader. All right, I've got one more to show you on this category of readability. And for this one, it's not for web pages, it's for Google Docs. So we're going to go back over to our George Washington document and tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and remove our highlighting so this isn't as confusing when I do this. I'll take off our highlighting there. Excellent. So this one is for What About Google Docs? And this one kind of reminds me of a Google Docs version of AT bar, where it changed the it did a color, like a color overlay. It changed like the background color and the overlay color. This is a add-on for Google Docs called Pupil Pref. Pupil Pref is the name of it, and everything's linked in here. So if I come in, and I don't know if I've got this one installed. Yes, I do. I have this one already installed, so I pre-installed this one for us. Under add-ons, if I go down to Pupil Pref, and I come over here and I click on background color, what it does is it opens up this tab over here on the side where it has a whole list of colors that, according to some research that have been done, are colors that can help students when reading text in a document. And so what this does is it allows me to come in and simply click on any of these colors, and it automatically changes the background color for my Google Doc to match that. Now, yes, you can do this manually. You can go into your settings up here and you can change it up there as well. But the idea behind this is that these are supposed to be colors that have been, people have studied and the research has been done, and these are the closest matches to those colors that make it easier for students to be able to read text on a page. And so that is Pupil Pref. Yes, Pupil Pref, and I'll go ahead and turn that one back off. All right, guys. Well, our next topic, as we're rolling through here, is reading comprehension. So the last one was readability, making it easier to see things and so forth. Now we're going to switch over to reading comprehension. And for that, we're going to be taking a look at some apps and extensions that take the text on a web page and try to make it a little bit easier for students to understand the content of it, not necessarily just being able to see it better. So for that, we'll go ahead and pop back over to our Dogo News website. We're getting a whole lot of use out of Dogo News today. And the ones we're going to take a look at, we're going to start with TLDR. That's abbreviation for too long, didn't read. And let me see, I don't think I've got it turned on, so I'll go ahead and use my extension manager and I'll turn on TLDR. Excellent. Now that's on, and I might need to again reload the page just so that it can take effect. So what does this extension do? Well, basically TLDR, if I click on that, it's going to scan through the whole web page, and it's going to try to create a summary of that page by pulling out what it considers to be the most important information off of that page. Now, I can get a summary, I can get a short version, I can get a medium version, a long version, or the original version. But all the way down to the summary, it'll just kind of give students a quick snapshot of what is this article about? What are the key things here? They can, of course, then go on to read the rest of the article or read a short version or a medium version, but it helps narrow it down from the original large size of the document to what's a little bit more critical and crucial from that document. That's TLDR. The next one is very similar to that, and it's called clipped. So I'll turn one off and turn the other on. So I'll go to my extension manager, I'll turn off TLDR, and I'll turn on clipped. There it is. And once I've got that on, I'll go ahead and do a quick refresh. And clip does pretty much the same thing, but it does it more as a bulleted list. So if I come in here and click on the clipped extension up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see that it does pretty much the same thing, but it breaks them up into nice bulleted items there. So again, if that's something to help students give a quick idea, a quick overview of what the important points of an article are, that's a great way to help them get that summary. All right, I'll go ahead and close that out, and I will turn clipped back off. Excellent. There we go. All right. The next one I'm going to mention is Google Dictionary. All right. Well, Google Dictionary, and I don't know, I guess I didn't turn it on. I'll turn it back on. Should have done that while I was turning the other one off. So here's Google Dictionary. Let's go ahead and turn that on. If I can click it at the right spot, Google Dictionary. There you go. Good job, Eric. Okay, Google Dictionary. So Google Dictionary basically allows me to double click on any word on a page, and Google Dictionary will notice that, and it'll pop up and give me a definition and a pronunciation of that word. So if I were to come in here and say, okay, I'm not sure what the word brutal means, I could double click on brutal, and it will go ahead and it will pop up the word and it'll give me a definition. And then I can click on the more button if I want to pop out and to Google's search to get a nice, full definition of that there. And so as a student is reading down through an article, if they get stuck on any words or having any difficulty, it's really nothing more than coming in and giving a double click on the word. It'll pop it up. And again, I'll turn on my speaker so you can hear this. They can hit the little play button and it should pronounce it for us. And there it goes. Excellent. Very good. All right. So that's Google Dictionary. The final one I wanted to mention for reading comprehension is a website I hope a lot of you guys already know about. It's called Newsela. And this is, I'll pop on out to it, and it is a Google web app. So Newsela, here we go. It is a Google web app, but you can also just go straight to the website as well. But I can also get to it if I go to my web apps and I pop over to my big list of web apps, you'll see that Newsela, here it is, there's Newsela. It is also a Google web app, but it takes you out to this web page here. I'll go ahead and sign in with my Google account. And what Newsela does is it puts out a current event article each day for students. So let's see what we have here. Oh, we've got an article on banning sledding. Now, that would be sad. My boys and I absolutely love to go sledding, but let's go ahead and click on this article. And what happens is it'll give you this article that's been specifically written by the Newsela folks. And then over here on the right-hand side, it has that article at 5 different Lexile levels. So I can go from max, which is grade 12, to, in this case, an 1100 Lexile level. That's an 8th grade, to a 1010, that's a 7th grade, to an 830, that's a 5th grade, to a 680, that's a 4th grade. Now, the levels can change depending upon the article. So, they're not always exactly those same lexiles, but what they do is they rewrite the article 5 times, and they have it at these different lexile levels so that all the students in your class could be reading the same content, but at a level that's appropriate for where they're at in their reading. In addition to that, many of these have quizzes and some writing opportunities as well. It's a great free website, and definitely encourage people to tap into that when looking for some reading comprehension tools. All right, next category is navigation. So for this, we're just going to look at 2 quick ones. We're going to look at click-free browsing and Vimium and show you how those work. So we'll go back to our ever favorite Dogo News site, and I'm going to start by turning on click-free browsing. The purpose behind this one is it's a extension if a student had difficulty using a mouse as far as clicking. They can move their mouse around, but maybe they've got some difficulty when it comes to actually clicking with the mouse. So I'll go ahead and reload the page, and you'll probably be able to see, if you look really close, you might actually see it in action. And what you'll see is over here on the right-hand side of the page, I'm going to be careful not to put my mouse on them, because once I do, they'll actually go into effect. There's arrows now over on the right-hand side of the page. There's an up arrow, a down arrow, a left arrow, a right arrow. And what those are for scrolling. So if I can move my mouse, and if I can just put it on top of the down arrow, it'll start scrolling down the page for me. And if I put it on top of the up arrow, I'm not clicking at all. I'm just hovering above the arrow. It'll scroll up. If I use the left arrow, it'll move me back to the earlier page that I was at. Now, here we go. Now I'm back to the beginning page of Dogo News. If I put it on the right arrow, it'll move me forward into the next page I had clicked on. Then if I'll go back again to the first page. If I take my mouse and I hover above any link, it will automatically pop up an arrow on top of that link that if I then hover on top of that arrow, it's the same as clicking on it and taking me into there. So if there's a student who has some struggles with clicking a mouse, but can move the mouse around, click-free browsing is a tool that allows you to get these hoverable arrows and makes it a lot easier to move around. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off so it doesn't interfere with any of our other things. And then I'm going to turn on Vimium. See, I'm getting smart here, guys. I'm turning them off and on at the same time. How about that? I'm hopefully doing a better job. All right. So Vimium, how does this work? Well, Vimium is if you're not using a mouse at all. So you're just relying on using a keyboard instead. And so it's all about keyboard shortcuts. And for these, let me go ahead and go back to the page where we started out at here. The way it works is if I bring up, I'll press a question mark, and you'll see if you press the question mark or key on your keyboard, it'll give you a pop-up of all of the different keyboard shortcuts it provides you. Now, I don't know that I would use a lot of these, but the ones that I really wanted to help, to show for this is there's a great one in here for opening links on a web page, and that is the F button. So if you use the F key or the capital F, the F key will let you open links in your current tab. The capital F will let you open links in a new tab. But let me show you the idea of how it works. So let's say I'm on this web page and I'm having to operate mostly with my keyboard, or I'm struggling with my mouse a bit. If I press Shift F, what it does is it automatically labels every single link on the page with letters. And all I have to do is type those letters, and it will actually go ahead and open up that page. So for example, if I wanted to read the article on the severe weather, the letters are MP that it put above it. You'll see right there, MP. So if I type MP, there it goes. It just opened that up in a new tab. And there it is. Now I could also open it up in the same tab. For that, instead of using capital F, it's just lowercase f. So now if I go MP, it'll open that up in the tab that I'm in right now. And there's a ton of neat options in there to move forward and backward and so forth. But I thought, what a great way if you're struggling with a mouse, but you can use the keyboard, that would be an awesome tool for you there. And I'm going to turn that guy off now. And there he goes. He's off. Okay. Back to our slideshow. The last one before we move out of Chrome web apps and extensions is under the topic of communication. And this is a web app called Picto for Me. Now, this allows you to create, edit, download, and play pictographic communication boards. And I know this is something, there's a lot of software out there that does this. Some of it is expensive, some of it might not be. This is just another option if you need to create those pictographic communication boards for your students. Picto4Me allows you to do that. Now, again, it is a Chrome web app, so follow my link that I've got in the document or the slideshow. It'll take you out to the Chrome web store. I've already installed it, but you could click Add to Chrome to get it installed. I've already installed it, so here it is in my list of Chrome web apps. Okay, I've got it on my last page there. If I give a click on Picto4Me, it'll go ahead and open this up. And basically what it allows me to do is to create one of those pictographic boards with clip art on there that a student could use to point to, or if you want to do it electronically, they can actually click on it and it'll actually read what those items are. So the idea is I can come in here and I can click on one of the squares and I can search. So I don't know, maybe I want to just put in some things from the classroom, like I'll search for the word pencil. And so it's already got all of this clip art built into it. So I can come in and say, okay, I'll go with pencil. And then let me see, let's go to the next one. And maybe for this, I want to use something like, we'll do desk. We'll run a search for that. And we'll choose desk, put that in there. And we'll just do one more. Maybe I'll just throw in book and run a search for book and grab a book out of there. And the point is, as these are getting put in there, again, you can print this out. Of course, I could title it, give it a title up here. You could print this out and easily create these pictographic boards. Or if we switched over into play mode, a student would actually be able to click on these on the screen and it would read what it says there. So for example, for pencil, and again, I have to turn my speaker back on, it can read that. Here we go.
Pencil.
There we go. And so each of these can be read aloud as well. Now, if you want, you can also adjust things like the border. So I could come in here and say, yeah, I'd like the border to be maybe a blue, and I'd like to increase or decrease the size of the border. And just very, very easy to go through and create these. And when you save them, they get saved to your Google Drive, and you can share them with other people as well. So just a great tool if you need to be creating those pictographic communication boards. All right. Well, we need to hit a few other things now in the time we have left that are not Chrome apps and extensions. And so we're going to now switch into some of the other bulleted items I mentioned that we would touch on. And one of them is YouTube. So in the background, I'm going to close out of a couple of these windows. I've got a lot of windows open up back there. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot over to YouTube and talk about some of the accessibility tools that have been built into YouTube, and specifically closed captioning. So let me go ahead and open up YouTube real quick. There we go. And let's say that I wanted to search for some videos on fractions. So I'll just type in fractions. And here I get a whole bunch of videos all on fractions. That's fantastic. All of that's good. You'll notice, though, as I'm scrolling down through here, some of them, and you might know, but I'll zoom in a bit in case you can't see that real well. Ooh, okay, zoom back out. I zoomed in a little too far there. Didn't mean to zoom in that far. Hold on a second. We'll zoom back out. Oh, good job, Eric. Have zoomed in too far now. Whoops, I think I hit the wrong key is why that happened. I may have to have Anthony come over and assist me here because I've now zoomed in too far. Nope, I made it back out. There we go. I thought I may need technical assistance. I made it back out. Sorry, I didn't mean to zoom in that far on it there. It was hard to see on my screen what I had done. But anyway, as I zoom in, you can see some of them have a CC with them there. I'll try that more carefully this time. Okay, I won't zoom in so far. They have a CC on them. That's for closed captioning. Well, the point is that's nice. You could search for something, type in fractions, do a search for it, and then you could find videos that have closed captioning. Well, in addition to that, you could also run a search specifically for videos that have closed captioning in them. And the way you do that is after you run your normal search, so I typed in fractions and I ran a search up there for fractions, I can now, right below there, there's a little button that says filters. If I give a click on filters, it shows me all these different things I can do to narrow down the videos I found, because I found a bunch of great ones, but they're not all closed captioned. Well, I can come in here and say, I want videos that have subtitles /CC, so closed captioning. And again, I know it's a little hard to see. I'm going to zoom in there so you can see that a little bit better. And there you can see it. So under filters, I can do subtitles and CC. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And now all I have are videos that have the closed captioning built into them. So now if I go into any one of these videos and go to play it, when it plays that video, I can click on CC for closed captioning down here at the bottom, and the subtitles will appear with the video as we go through that. Now, this one may just be taking a little bit of time to load, so take my word on that, I'll come back to it here in a bit. I think our Wi-Fi is running just a little slow, but that is a great tool if you're looking for closed captioning in YouTube videos. Next thing up is some features that are built directly into Google Chrome. And so for this, again, these are specific to the Chrome web browser. And there's a lot of great accessibility features in the Chrome web browser. I'm just going to touch on a couple real quick ones. And one of them you've already seen me do. Not very well. I kind of messed up on it. So this is my chance to redeem myself now. And that is the ability to zoom in and out. And so there are a lot of keyboard shortcuts that are built into the Chrome web browser. And one of them includes using Control+ or Control- to zoom in and zoom out. So if you're showing something up on the board and a student's having a hard time seeing it, or if your student is just browsing and they are having a difficult time reading things, this is something that they should be aware that they can do. So if I go ahead and go into the session for today, so we'll pop into the web page that we're all on right now, Google Tools for Special Needs. What I can do is I can take my Control button on my keyboard, and every time I press that and I press plus, what it does is it makes the screen bigger, and if I press Control and minus, it makes it smaller. And so at 100%, some of the stuff might be difficult to see, but if I hit Control+, and jump it up to 150 or maybe just down to 125, it might become a lot easier to see. So the Control+ and the Control- keys are great to be able to do zooming in and zooming out when you're in the Chrome web browser. And there's a bunch of other cool keyboard shortcuts built in there as well. In addition to the keyboard shortcuts, you can also override the default font, face, and size for the browser. So if I was a student and every web page I go to, it just needs to be bigger. The font's just not big enough. Rather than always going Control++ to make it bigger, I can go into the settings in Chrome. And so the settings are up in the top right-hand corner. I can give a click up there, go down to the settings option from the drop-down menu. And then if I scroll way down to my advanced settings, and this is all in the handout and it's all here too, settings, advanced settings. When you get all the way down into there, there's a section called web content. And from there, I can go ahead and click on the Customize Fonts button. And what it does is it gives me this global setting where I can go in and change how big I want the fonts to be. So I could say the standard font currently is at a size 16. I could click and drag this up and say every single thing is going to now be a 24. And it'll override that for all of my web pages and make the standard font be larger. I could also do this if I wanted to change some of the font faces and say, I want my standard font not to be Times New Roman. I'd prefer it to be something else. All right. So let me go ahead and close out of that. All right, guys, we're coming close to the end. The last thing that I want to mention before we do start to wrap things up is mobile features. So again, we're talking about Google Tools. So this is all focusing on Google related things. Well, another option when it comes to voice to text, so speech to text, is to go ahead and use a mobile device with the Google Docs app on it, and then use the built-in microphone feature in your mobile device to speak into your mobile device in your Google Doc and dictate it rather than type. Now, we saw earlier when we were doing the George Washington one, I was able to do this by either using Read and Write for Google. That worked. I was also able to do this by using the add-on for speech recognition, and that opened it up on the side, and that worked well. Okay. Well, let me show you another approach to this. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you quite as easily. You'll have to just kind of watch here on the screen. I'm going to take out this old text here. I've got my cell phone in my hand. You just have to believe me on this. I've got my cell phone in my hand here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the same doc right now. So this copy of George Washington, I'm going to go into my Google Drive app, and this could be on an iPhone or an Android phone. I'm using an Android phone. Could be an iPad, could be an Android tablet. That's perfectly fine. Doesn't matter which one it is, but I'm using the Google Drive app, which is available on iPhones and on Android phones. And there we go. You just saw, I think you just probably saw that I just popped into the document there. And so now what I can do is I can use, of course, I could use the keyboard on my phone if I wanted to. So I could type blah, 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 blah. And as I start typing stuff, it should start showing up in the document here as well. There you go. So you can see I'm just hitting a couple of random keys there. But the nice thing about a phone or a tablet is they've got a really good microphone feature, a really good speech-to-text translation feature built into them. And so when I click inside the document on my mobile device and I get the pop-up keyboard, I also get a button with a microphone on it. So I can press this microphone and I can just dictate right into my phone, and it should then translate right here into the document. So let's try it out. We'll give it a chance and see how well it does. Okay, here we go. I am a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar. Very good. Hey, I did a nice job on that. And so again, I was just talking right into my phone. And I may say, well, our students don't all have phones. And well, I guess many of them probably do have phones, but don't forget, you can use old phones as well. So if a parent, says, oh, we're getting rid of our old phone, we're upgrading to a new phone, the phone stores may not give you a whole lot of money for your old phone. So maybe ask your community, ask your parents if they want to donate their old phones when they're done using them to the school. And then the school can wipe them and just hook them up to the Wi-Fi there at school. And these become dictation devices. Students could just talk right into the Google Drive app on these old phones for dictation. So that's a neat option on the phone. And then the last thing about mobile devices I wanted to mention was using the Google Play Books app. And so if you aren't familiar with Google Play, let me go ahead and just open up really quick here the Google Play Store. Okay, so here on my the browser, you'll see this is play.google.com/books. So this is the Google Play Store. And there's a lot of, free books in here. You can go into the shop and you can find, public domain classics and things like that. You can also purchase books here as well. But one of the things that's really important to know is you can also upload your own. So here's an upload button that you can click on that allows you to upload PDFs and other books. So if you were, as a teacher, if you created a PDF out of your study guides, out of any other information students might need, those could be uploaded into the student's own Google Play Books account. And then once it's there, sure, on the web, you could come in, you could click and read any of these. Well, the key that I'm getting to is if you're using the app instead, not the website. So if I'm not at the website on my laptop or desktop, but if I'm using the Google Play Books app for mobile, I can have these books and PDFs read aloud. It has a read aloud feature built right into it. So I'm going to go ahead now again, you got to trust me. I got to trust that I'm doing this on my phone here. I'm going to open up Google Play Books, and I've got a book I was reading to my kids. Let me see, it was one of the Roscoe Riley books. The kids loved it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on I don't need to turn on my speaker. I'm just going to put my phone really close and turn my phone up, put it really close to the microphone here. What I can do in my Google Play app is I can click on my click on the button in the top right-hand corner, the little three dots, the ... and I can click read aloud, and let's see how it does. Let's give that a shot.
6. How big is that pumpkin in the window? After school, my mom picked up Max, my big brother.
All right, I'll go ahead and stop that. And so there's a read aloud feature built right into the Google Play the Google Play Books app, which again is fantastic to use on any mobile device. Well, guys, I would have loved to have covered even more than that, but whew, we made it with a minute to spare. So let me go ahead and do a little bit of wrap up here at the end. There's plenty more resources related to all of this at our website, tiny.cc/spark 209. So I'm going to pop back over there one last time to sort of wrap all of this up, and I will use my Control+ to zoom in now that we know all about zooming in there. So just as a reminder, all of the resources can be found at tiny.cc/spark209. There you're going to find the recorded video from this session. You'll find the help guides and the slideshow for this session. You will find the session evaluation. Please fill that out. I'd love to hear your feedback. It helps us improve our webinars. And don't forget, you can take the quiz, about a 5-question quiz. And when you complete that, you'll be sent a PDF certificate of completion for watching this webinar. In addition to things related to this particular webinar, don't forget, we do have our PD schedule here for upcoming webinars. We have the recorded trainings showing all of the ones we've done in the past. And we do have a newsletter that you can sign up for so you don't ever miss anything. Always have an update on what's coming out. And as always, you can contact us through the contact list. And hey, Anthony's picture's back now. Yay, it's there. So there's Anthony and I. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this session today. We hope to see you again over the coming weeks for more educational technology webinars. Take care.